everyone, welcome to TriRide. This is Pack 365. Myself Srija. Today you are going to learn about the continuation of classification of the bones, and also in this session you will be learning about the axial skeleton anatomy. So coming to irregular bones. So what are irregular bones? In previous session we have discussed about the short bones and long bones and also the flat bones. Now you are going to learn about the irregular bones. So what are irregular bones? These are the bones that do not fit into any of other categories like long, short or flat. So their shape is complex, often with projections, ridges, curves and openings. So because of these shapes, irregular bones, they perform the specialized functions such as the protection, support and also the muscle attachment. So what are the key features of the irregular bones? The complex shape, nothing but they have uneven surfaces. They contain the features like processes, spines, facets, foramina and also the crest. So this cannot be classified elsewhere, like they do not match the long bones, short bones, flat bones. So they form their own category. So what is the structure of the irregular bone? So you have two structures, the external structure and the internal structure. So external structure, this is made up of the compact bone. So this compact bone, it forms a strong outer shell. The external surfaces show the processes like projections, spines like pointed extensions, facets means the smooth surfaces of the joints, and foramina is nothing but these are the openings for nerves and blood vessels, and also it contains the crest like raised ridges. So these structures, they help these muscles to attach or allow the nerves to pass through. So next, coming to the internal structure. So internal structure, the inner area is covered by a cancellous bone, nothing but a spongy bone. So what does the spongy bone contains? It contains the red bone marrow. So this is essential for the hematopoiesis, nothing but the blood cell formation. So this trabecula inside, these are arranged according to the stress and load to provide the strength. So why are irregular bones important? So these are important because they help with us to protection. So they also helps in muscle attachment, weight support and also the passage of the nerves and vessels, nothing but foramina. So what are the locations of the irregular bones? Where they are located in the human body. So what are the places? So irregular bones, they are located in parts of the body that need protection, support and also the special shapes for movement and muscle attachment. So where they are located? They are located at the vertebral column, the backbone of the human body. So this includes the cervical vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae, sacrum and cochleax. So cervical, nothing but it is present at the neck, thoracic vertebrae upper back, lumbar vertebrae lower back and sacrum and cochleax is a tailbone. So what is the function of this vertebral column? It protects the spinal cord and supports the body weight. So next, skull. So skull, it is a certain irregular bone. So these examples include sphenoid bone, ethmoid, mandibular, maxilla, inferior nasal concha and palatine bone. So these bones, it gives the skull its complex shape and also it supports in breathing, chewing and also the sensory functions. So next, pelvis. So pelvic bone, it is made up of three irregular bones, ilium, ischium and pubis. So together they support the body weight and protect the pelvic organs. So what are the other places then? Hyoid bone and also certain facial bones. So what are the functions of the irregular bones? You have seen the locations, right? Now what are the functions of the irregular bones? Irregular bones, they have the multiple important functions due to their complex shape. They perform functions like protection, support, muscle attachment, movement and hematopoiesis. So coming to protection, so vertebrae protects the spinal cord and the skull, irregular bones, they protect the brain structures. So next, support function. So the pelvic bones support body weight, whereas the vertebrae supports the head and body posture. So next, muscle attachment. So many projections, they serve as strong attachment points. For example, mandible for chewing muscles. So next, movement. So movement, the vertebrae, they allow bending and twisting. The mandible allows chewing and talking. and also the muscle attachment means many projections are present on the muscle, right? So they serve as a strong attachment points. For example, mandible for chewing muscles. So the last function is hematopoiesis. So red bone marrow are present in the irregular bones. This makes the blood cells. And at the right side, you can clearly see the picture of the irregular bone. What are they? The vertebrae, sphenoid bone, temporal, ethmoid, zygomatic, maxilla, mandible, hyoid bones. So here you can clearly see the irregular bones. So next type of bone is sesamoid bone. So what are sesamoid bones? What do you mean by sesamoid bone? So these sesamoid bones, these are the special bones that form inside the tendons, especially where a tendon crosses a joint. So what does they help? They help to protect the tendon, they reduces the friction, they improve the muscle efficiency, like act like pulleys. So the most important sesamoid bone is the patella, which is also called as kneecap. So what are the key features of the sesamoid bones? Size and shape, location, and also the structure of the sesamoid bones. So what are the key features? Size and shape. So in size, they are small, round, and oval. So they are often described as a seed-like shape. That's why they are called as sesamoid. Seed-like means a sesame seed-like shape. The name given as the sesamoid bones. So where they are located? They were found where tendons face the high pressure, usually near the joints, means the areas of heavy movement or force. For example, patella is the largest one, sesamoid bones under the big toe, sesamoids under the thumb. So what is the structure of the sesamoid bone? Composition, shape. So outer layer of the sesamoid bone, it is made up of the compact bone, which is a strong bone. So inner layer is made up of the spongy bone. So this spongy bone, it consists of the red bone marrow again. So this is surrounded by a tendon tissue. So coming to shape of the sesamoid bone, it is, I already have discussed about you. The shape, it is round, oval, and a small seed-like shape. So shape and size vary depending upon the stress placed on the tendon. So why are these sesamoid bones important? So they helps to protect the tendons from wear and tear. So this increases the leverage of muscles, nothing but it increases the power of the muscles, and also it improves the smooth movement at the joint. For example, if you have the patella, you can clearly see in the picture. Patella is sesamoid bone, okay? So they protect the tendon from wear and tear. And also this patella, it increases the power of the quadriceps muscles during the leg extension. So this is why sesamoid bones are important. So locations of the sesamoid bone. So where does these bones are located? So sesamoid bones, these are usually found in tendons where there is high pressure, stress or friction. So they protect the tendon and they help to movement become smoother and more efficient. So which is the major sesamoid bone? It is a patella. This is the largest sesamoid bone. So patella, it is located inside the quadriceps tendon. So this protects the knee joint. So it helps the quadriceps muscle work more efficiently by increasing the power value. So this is the most important and strongest sesamoid bone within the human body. So what is the function of the patella? It makes the knee extension stronger and also it protects the tendon. So next, coming to the common smaller sesamoid bones. Hand and foot. Hand means the palmar side. Clearly you can see the picture over here. So this is found in the tendon of the flexor pollicis brevis near the thumb MCP joint. So this is of usually two small sesamoid bones. They help us with grip, thumb movement, protecting the tendons. So these small bones, they makes the thumb movement smoother and stronger. Next, coming to the foot sesamoid bone. So two sesamoid bones under the head of the first metatarsal beneath the big toe. So this is important during the walking, running, standing, and also weight bearing. So these sesamoid bones, they often get injured. Nothing but they get inflamed. So what do you call the inflammation of the sesamoid bones? It is sesamoiditis. Inflammation due to overuse of the sesamoid bones. You can also find at the other sides of the human body. You can also find near the knee. a small sesamoid bone found in the gastrocnemius tendon, which is behind the knee. It is not present in everywhere. Next, coming to wrist, it's a pisiform sesamoid bone. So this pisiform bone, it acts like a sesamoid bone because it is inside a tendon. However, anatomically, it is classified as a short bone. Functionally, it behaves like a sesamoid bone. And then the other high stress tendon areas. So especially around the base of the big toe, the sesamoid bones are present. So other places where the tendons experiences high pressure. So what are the functions of the sesamoid bones? So the sesamoid bones, they improve how the tendons and muscles work, especially in the areas with high stress and friction. So how do they act like? So these sesamoid bones, they do act like a natural pulleys and shock absorbers. So what are the main functions of the sesamoid bone? It protects the tendons, reduces the friction, increases the mechanical advantage, and also it assists the smooth movement. So in protecting the tendons, it reduces the wear and tear, right? So this prevents the tendons from getting pinched or damaged at a pressure points. So coming to reduce friction. So how do they reduce friction? It stops the tendons from rubbing too hard against the bones. So they prevent during the movement. So next, increase mechanical advantage. So it proves the muscle leverage. So this makes the muscles more efficient when pulling across the joints. For example, patella. Patella, it increases the power of the quadriceps. So the other function is it assists the smooth movement. Like this provides a smooth surface for tendons to glide over. So this makes the joint movement smoother and easier. So this is the function of the sesamoid bone. So you have learned about 4 types of bones. So what are they? A long bone, short bone, flat bone, irregular bone, and also the sesamoid bone. So this is the classification of the bones within the musculoskeletal system. Now let us discuss about the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. So what is the difference between them? So how do they function in the body? So what is axial skeleton? The axial skeleton, it forms the central axis of the human body. So it is a central framework that supports and protects the most vital organs. So what are the functions of the axial skeleton? It supports the body's central structure. So this protects the vital organs like brain, spinal cord, heart and legs. So it also forms the main axis of the body. It provides attachment for muscles involved in posture, breathing and also the head movement. So how many bones are present in the axial skeleton? So this axial skeleton, it consists of 3 main regions. So what are the 3 main regions? You can clearly see in the picture over here. This is a picture of the axial skeleton showing all the bones and number of bones involved in it. So this axial skeleton, it consists of 3 main regions: the skull, vertebral column and also the thoracic cage or rib cage. So it also includes the hyoid bone in the neck and ear ossicles, the 3 tiny bones in each ear. So what is the first region? Skull. Skull is made up of 22 bones. The skull is divided into 8 cranial bones and 14 facial bones. Are you getting my point? So skull is divided into 8 cranial bones. What are they? Frontal, parietal, temporal, sphenoid and ethmoid bone. Whereas it is made up of 14 bones, 14 facial bones. Nothing but the nasal, lacrimal, vomer, zygomatic, maxillae, mandible, sternum. So this skull is made up of the cranial bones and facial bones. So next, coming to the second region, the vertebral column. So vertebral column is made up of 26 bones. So though details are probably on the next slide, the vertebral column, it includes the cervical, thoracic, lumbar vertebrae, sacrum and also the coccyx. So next, thoracic region. So thoracic region, thoracic cage or rib cage, it protects the heart and lungs and also it supports the breathing movements. This vertebral column, it is a thoracic cage and also called as the rib cage. It also has a few special bones like the hyoid bone and ear ossicles. So let's go through them in an easy way. So this vertebral column is divided into 5 regions, right? The cervical vertebrae is made up of the 7 bones. So these are located in the neck. You can clearly see a picture of this vertebrae, the vertebrae of the human body. So this cervical vertebrae is located in the neck region. You can clearly see in the picture cervical and neck region. So this is numbered as C1 to C7. Are you finding it in the picture? C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6 and C7. So C1 means it atlas. So C2 is axis which allows the head movement. So next coming to thoracic vertebrae. Thoracic vertebrae is present in the upper and mid back of the body. So it is numbered as T1 to T12. So all these 12 touches this 12 attaches to the ribs. So next coming to the lumbar vertebrae. Lumbar vertebrae is made up of 5 bones. So what are named? They named as the L1 to L5, which is green in color. So this is present in the lower back. So which is the largest and strongest vertebrae, that is weight bearing. So lumbar vertebrae, it's the largest and strongest vertebrae. And the other one is sacrum. So sacrum, it is made up of 1 bone. So which is formed by a fusion of 5 vertebrae. So this sacrum, it connects spine to hip bones. And the last one is coccyx, which is 1 bone and also called as the tailbone. So this tailbone, it is formed by fusion of the 3 to 5 vertebrae. So next coming to thoracic cage, the rib cage, 25 bones. So you can find true ribs, false ribs and also the floating ribs within the thoracic cage. The true ribs are nothing but number 1 to number 7. So these true ribs are directly attached to the sternum, whereas the false ribs 8 to 12, these are the indirect or no indirect connection. They do not have any direct connection with the ribs. So coming to floating ribs, number 11 to 12. So they do not connect this sternum at all. So what is sternum? Sternum has 3 parts. So manubrium, body and xiphoid process. So the rib cage, it protects the heart, lungs and the major vessels, and also it helps with the breathing. You also have the other axial bones, which are 7 number in total within the vertebrae. So what are those? The hyoid bone and the ear ossicles. So this hyoid bone, it is 1 bone, the only bone in the body that does not articulate. It's meaning that does not join with any other bone. So this hyoid bone, it is located in the neck. So what is the function of the hyoid bone? It helps in swallowing and tongue movements. So next coming to ear ossicles. It is made up of the 6 bones. So these are 3 tiny bones, 3 pair of tiny bones which is in each ear. So there are 3 ear vesicles, malleus, incus and stapes. So malleus, which is a hammer shape, incus, which is a anvil shape, and stapes, which is a stirrup shape. So this is the smallest bone in the body. So what is the function of the ear ossicles? They transmit the sound wave vibrations from eardrum to inner ear. So this is about the axial skeleton and the bones which make the skeleton. So what are the functions of the axial skeleton? So this axial skeleton, it plays several essential roles, because axial skeleton, it is a combination of a skull, vertebral column, ribs, sternum, hyoid, ear ossicles. So they perform the several essential roles in the human body. So let's break them down simply. What is that? Protection. So what do you mean by protection? The axial skeleton, it forms a protective shield around the most vital organs. In skull, it protects the brain. In vertebral column, it protects the spinal cord. Whereas in rib cage, it protects the heart, lungs and major vessels. So what is the main idea? Main function of this protection is it keeps the most important organs safe from the injury. So the second function is support. So how do they support? How this axial skeleton support? It supports the head, neck and also trunk. It also helps us to maintain an upright posture. So without the axial skeleton, the body would collapse. We couldn't couldn't get a proper posture. If we stand, if we wanted to stand, if we wanted to walk without the presence of axial skeleton, we couldn't do it. So next function is attachment for muscles. So this provides a strong attachment points for many important muscles involved in it. For example, head movement, neck and trunk movement, breathing, nothing but respiration, and also the facial expression like smiling, frowning, etc. And also in chewing. So these muscles, they need bones to attach to, because the axial skeleton, it acts like a central anchor. Okay. So next function is hematopoiesis. So what do you mean by hematopoiesis? It's a formation of blood cells. So red bone marrow, it in axial bone, it produces RBCs, WBCs and platelets. So these RBCs, they carry the oxygen. WBCs, they fight against the infection. And also platelets, they help in clotting. So these bones, they include the skull, ribs, sternum and vertebrae. So the axial skeleton, this helps to maintain life by producing the blood cells. So this is about the hematopoiesis function. So next, coming to weight transmission function. So how does it transmit the weight? The vertebral column, it carries or it transmits the body weight of the upper body. So this, it transfers this weight to the pelvis and also eventually to the lower limbs. So this is why the lumbar vertebrae are the strongest, because they bear the most weight. Are you getting my point? Yeah, this is about the functions of the axial skeleton. Okay. This is for today's session, guys. In the next session, you're going to learn about the types of joints, the types of muscles, and also about the appendicular skeleton of the musculoskeletal system. Thank you.